They say you're encrypted and everything, but hey, government can spy on your WhatsApp.
The whole point of decentralization is that you own your own IP. This Arc terminal that we're building is all about decentralization. Crypto was never really decentralized as well.
We all talk about decentralization, DeFi and all this stuff, yet there's a backdoor access we never heard of.
Most of the crypto companies are built on AWS.
People are thinking about what happens to their wallets once they die.
Exactly.
When CBDCs do become a reality, what are you going to do with your savings?
Wow.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Traders Brawl podcast, where we feature entrepreneurs, money gurus, business leaders, and even fitness freaks on the show. I'm Adel, your host, and if you're new here, welcome. Today's guest is Khalil Kassam, CEO and co-founder at Arc Terminal, where he's building a privacy-first, decentralized AI operating system for Web3. This business model appears to be quite relevant in the world that's increasingly introducing stricter surveillance systems, such as, but not limited to, digital IDs, CBDCs, or should I say, programmable users' money, and even facial recognition CCTV technology. Khalil, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Khalil, we actually met in, I think, it was a run-up to ArtStyle.
Years ago.
It was years ago.
We're old friends now.
Yeah. And I think you joined in as CEO.
Yeah.
And I was from there.
It was interim, just helping them out.
But I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. So I've been in the space for around 10 years, moved to the Middle East 10 years ago.
Okay.
My journey through crypto was not on the DGen side. I didn't just fall into it. I was on the institutional side. So I worked in ADGM, launching the exchanges there. So I was working with the regulators. How would you regulate a crypto exchange, tokens? So I went, backwards instead of, working on the, jumping into all of the other tokens. So for 4 years I did that, and then I went into IPs. So NFTs, we launched Tyson Fury's NFT, worked with Rick Ross. We own the IP for Mr. Bean, worked with Warner Brothers, Universal, Comic-Con, and it was more around bringing Web2 businesses into the Web3 space. So more 90% of the time we were telling them not to do it because it was all brand recognition, which is why I still have very strong ties with all of these companies in the background. And then went back into advising, consulting, investing. And then we were building institutional products. So we built equities, bonds, and securities on the blockchain. So my journey through crypto has been back and forth between DGen and institutional, and working with sovereign wealth, family offices, market makers, liquidity providers, all of that in the span of 10 years. And then we were looking at AI because it was a hot topic about, it's always been a hot topic, but more so last year. Right. And we were looking at how to bring IP into AI. How could you communicate with your favorite character? We were big into anime and we're just nerds in general, even though I don't look like one, but I'm a massive nerd. So we were looking at how to bring that to life. And we realized that it was terrible to speak to agents. It was just unimpressive. It was like, why would I want to have a character like this? So my partner, my business partner on the infrastructure side, he built an agent which was on ELIZA, decoupled it, and then he built it with emotional intelligence, reasoning, so that it kept coming back to the chat after a day or so and saying, what about this topic? What about that topic? And we soon realized that it didn't just apply to IP, it actually applied to every single industry. So one of the first products we built was for a company in Saudi. They're one of 3 property developers. And it was an agentic platform where it controlled the whole of a compound. So that we're still being paid for that product because they're launching in their, they've got 3 or 4 compounds in Saudi. So, and then we started looking at other industries like the health sector, schooling, governments. What could they use sort of emotional intelligence for, and how could it better be used in more like a sovereign way? You secure the data, especially when you're working with schools, governments, health. All of that data is private and it's very, you don't want data leaks. So then we were like, okay, we built this for the infrastructure side, but how does Web3 benefit from this? And we're Web3 nerds at the end of the day. We're like, how do we build this into an interface where it makes sense for someone to use? And why would they use this over ChatGPT or Grok or something that's, still out there? There's loads of LLMs now. So we built something called Arc, which is the autonomous reasoning computer. And that thing is a decentralized operating system from your browser.
Before we get to that, I want to take a step back.
Go on.
I remember you used to work for FOMO Labs.
Yeah.
Are you proud of that moment, or
I mean, no. Well, that was our company, but we did so much great stuff, and we kind of built so much ahead of time that we were looking at things like ahead of the future. So we started building the metaverse before as a thing. We started doing NFTs before. I think we broke BSC network. We hit $1 billion.
I love the name FOMO Lab.
It was great. I think someone took that afterwards as well. So we had an amazing brand. But then the day we launched the Mr. Bean NFT, the market crashed. Literally, it was the FTX thing.
Oh,
literally the day we had an advert that went off, and Mr. Bean was pushing the red button. It said crash the market, and that happened at the same time. We were like, shit.
God.
So, and it was just that whole thing about NFTs, and people were just losing trust. Like, the tech is great for it, which is why we moved it into equities, bonds, and security. So directly from there, we went into something that tech was and ticketing and working with Comic-Con and things like that, and advising them how to do e-tickets and things like that.
I see. Being as authentic as you can be and honest, did you lose money?
Yeah, man, I've always lost
lots of money.
I mean, you can't be a founder without losing money.
Tell me about it.
Everyone's not going to have a pitch perfect story. It's literally like, you will lose money. I've lost money on this but then on this business, but then I make money. So it's part of the journey of being a founder. If you can't lose money, then make money from losing money, then you're not meant for the game.
That's true. It's all about resilience.
Oh, 100%, man. We got a 10-year overnight success.
Now we can move on to ARC Terminal, which is ARC Terminal. So now this podcast, I want it to be about how, in the age of this narrative, in the age of total surveillance, which we're seeing the introduction of CBDCs, centralized digital banking currencies, digital IDs, which are being rolled out by the EU, the UK, and certain nations. And also facial recognition is going to be everywhere, but not even that. Crypto wallet transparency, which is going to be open to regulators. Everybody is going to have open eyes on what you own. This is the time to really ask the question can ARC Terminal be the savior to privacy?
I think, look, you've got to look at it in a few different ways. Like, so even if you look at the EU and the UK, the UAE has the Emirates ID. There's nothing different about it. So you can look at the extremes and go, look, there's this bit and there's that. They're just not used to it. Your passport is your digital ID. They're already doing facial recognition. They have it in the airport, so it's not as extreme. Where I do think it's a bit very, very too close to home is the fact that the CBDCs. So everything churns cashless, and then immediately you're put on a system.
Correct.
But I think you should have the choice of you can have, like, everyone earns money. I mean, some people do it in the wrong way, some people do it in the right way. That's just part of life. But I think you need choice, right? So if someone wants to go online and they want to just use their agent for building themselves in the right way, which we're doing, right? This ARC Terminal that we're building is all about decentralization and using it to what you are as a person, and not be, your data just being farmed and sold to every single company. That's not what we're about. We're about actually building you as a person, which is why we're looking at the mental health side. We're looking at all these different features and working with all these different companies to kind of build out the emotional intelligence side of things, because you need that as a human. We're using it right now, having this conversation. We're using reasoning. We're using all these amazing things, but that's what the other LLMs don't do. They just get you to input data, and 9 times out of 10 times it'll be hallucination, right? So there's so much data in there. But I think with what we're doing, it gives people the choice to act on their own behalf rather than going to use what they're forced to use.
Because in a way, since your platform is a decentralized AI operating system for Web3 companies, in simple terms, you're essentially going to be replacing centralized platforms like Google, Bloomberg, and others.
So we're looking at more at you have an operating system like Mac, right, or Windows.
Exactly, Mac OS.
What we're trying to do is cut out the noise. So in all of Web3 and all of AI, for someone who doesn't know Web3, it's a massive industry to kind of tackle in one bit. You've got all these different chains. It's all fragmented. You've got 900
different layers,
and to be honest with you, that will be your first time just losing money. It is trial by fire. So what we did was we simplified everything so that people can just connect one wallet, They can do all their switching. Everything in the background is done for them.
Okay.
And it's the same with the AI. Yes, we use different AI models and we're building our own LLM. But the whole point is you can do your video generation, your image generation. You can do deep research. You can write papers on there. It'll work with you on your core beliefs. So the whole point is you'd have one browser to their own, which is what we're doing as well. We're building a partnership with another company to actually launch the mobile app with. So they were the investors into Brave.
Okay, so this is interesting. I use Brave, the browser.
So we're working with their investors to launch this app.
I see. So when you say you're not trying to replace OS systems, operating systems, you're trying to work with them, is partner with them?
Yeah, we're not even trying to partner. It works on any browser. So as long as you've got a browser, it works on that.
Okay.
But for us, that's the easiest way to market, right? So when we have our own app, that's where you can do it on. And essentially you'll have your own living, breathing, well, not breathing, but living.
Then no data will be shared.
So this is the best thing. The way you use the blockchain, your data can't be shared on the blockchain just from your wallet. If someone needed to get into your files, they could not do it unless they have your seed phrase. It works the same way. It's completely private.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. And that's what we like, because you may have files on there, documents or whatever on there that you don't want anyone to see. And it's not.
And even if you want to see, like, you should, I shouldn't have to show my whole ID. If you want specific information on my ID,
Exactly.
I can share that with you.
Yeah.
You don't need the whole ID.
Exactly.
Right?
So that's what I mean. You give people the choice to do what they need to do. And it's not like we're doing malicious things. It's literally like, that birth certificate is my child's. That photo of my wife and I is private. That like could be of my kids, but it's saved on your ARC terminal.
Yeah.
And this is why we're working with so many different companies like Idle, Zero G. We're speaking to ICP now about all of the decentralization, because these companies do it and they want the same thing. They want decentralization. This is what the blockchain was meant for.
Right.
It wasn't meant to be centralized.
No. Now, when it comes to LLMs, are you planning to build your own LLM as well?
We're about halfway through.
Okay, your own AI LLM.
Yeah. So we're about halfway through. We're doing a raise at the moment because we've essentially, I built this business like a project like a business. So we've got revenue in it. We built the product ourselves. We bootstrapped. There's 4 people in the company. We've built a company that's probably needs about 20 people in it. But because we've had such experience, we've done it differently. We're not doing it like a normal crypto company. So we put all of our money back into that. And now we're raising for the next stage, which is the go-to-market, having more tech people on board, getting the support we need in the funding to actually build the whole decentralized network. Because as much as AI is amazing, it costs a shitload of money.
Of course.
It is just horrendous how much it costs.
Then this leads to my next question. Since we're already in a saturated market of LLMs, there's so many LLMs to use. There's Grok, there's ChatGPT, there's Gemini. So why launch your own? What's going to make yours different?
I think the idea of it's built on the basis that all these LLMs are built from a shit ton of information. So we would more think of ours as like a small language model where it's focused. It's focused on you. And that data is your data. Whereas the data that's in all these large language models is not your data, which brings me on to my other point, is that people who are using our system, it's their own IP. The whole point of decentralization is that you own your own IP. And that's the next stage of it. It's your digital identity.
And it's not shared with any third party.
No. We don't want it to be. We're not capitalizing on that. We're capitalizing on the fact that we built a product that is going to really disrupt the industry. Disruption is what you need to make things better. But the idea is that we want people to be able to own their own IP, because as time goes on, you're going to have stuff like generational data. Generational data is what you did in this life, and then your child gets the data and all stuff like that. How does your data live through the years? And people are not thinking about this now, but this is what we're internally thinking about. It's like, how does the artist make money when their child is there? You know what I mean? So all these things are going to keep going on and on.
I'll even go a step further. I don't think people are thinking about what happens to their wallets once they die.
Exactly. So we're working on a project, I'm under NDA, but the idea is it's in inheritance.
Inheritance.
What happens?
Crypto inheritance.
A crypto inheritance. So it's your digital inheritance. What happens with that? And who's going to represent?
Otherwise, it just stays in a wallet forever.
Well, exactly. So who's going to inherit that? And we're looking at building, because of what we're doing on our side, building your digital representative. How do we link that in with your inheritance? And how can that person, that agent, best represent you, knowing about your core beliefs, knowing about who you are? So there's a whole thing that we're working on looking at different sort of projects like this.
Very interesting. When I was at a Function One conference, happened not too long ago, I was exposed to some booths that had these LLMs in place that were working without being connected to the internet.
Yeah.
So internet was not on, Wi-Fi was off, and it was working similar to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Again, also not sharing, not data sharing with anyone. To me, that was already like, wow.
That's amazing. I'd love to know who that is.
I know.
No, but that's amazing because it's things like that where, you know, we know one company called AI Block, and what they've done, their partner company actually has a offline chain, layer one. So it only takes one person on their chain on using a payment to upload the whole chain. So everyone else could be off, but one person could be online and it'll upload the whole data.
Okay.
Which is awesome. So for countries like, you know, the third world countries where they don't have internet the whole time, this is amazing. And they're doing logistics and supply chain, and they're working on smart markets for AI. So they're linking the whole system together. But yeah, amazing products that are coming out. I'd love to know who those people are.
Definitely. It's really intriguing to not be connected to the internet, because we're always so connected. We're always like dependent. But imagine being able to cut off yourself and you know, release yourself from being on the internet 24/7. And you're able to still be productive.
Yeah, I try and do that in the morning.
I try.
Well, no, because I've got my toddler, right? So I dedicate most of my mornings to him. Yeah, because I know the next, like, I'm here and then I'm somewhere else after this, then I'm there, then I don't see him until 6. So like,
no,
it's a sad story.
We'll come on to that. Actually, you're saying the narrative is it's better to use an AI system that doesn't keep your data than use, I think, than otherwise. Because if these people aren't criminals, I've got nothing to lose. I don't exactly use my data. I'll use my data.
Yeah, I think it's more so the choice to give your data rather than it just being farmed from you, right?
Yeah.
And then you don't earn money from that.
No.
So that's the whole point.
You're just a user. You're just being used.
There's another company I'm working with called Siki, so I'm helping with their UAE expansion, and they're a music company. So they're working with the likes of Universal, Warner Brothers. I think they're founders. The partner's the founder of MTV. But what they're doing with the music industry is owning your own IP on the blockchain and digital identity and how you earn money. And it's the same thing with us. There's a point where we want to get to where people are owning money from the videos that they create, if it's good, if from the images they create. And then we'll have a whole creative suite on there, which is we've got like 30% of, but this is where the funding's going towards. But that's the idea. It's not that people are going to do bad or they want to do bad or they want to show what they have. It's literally a fact of all the companies around now, and everyone knows it, people are just being farmed for data.
So now, my next question is, since we're on the narrative that you have the option to keep your data, so let's say you do opt for that option.
No, this is it. This is it. Yeah, there's no other option.
There's no other.
Perfect. So we're not like tick this and we can sell you the guy who's going to call you 900 times a day.
No, well said.
Number.
But here's where it gets tricky. So when governments want access to a particular information about a particular person for national security reasons, what happens then?
It would probably take a whole government to shut down the blockchain, a blockchain. So if that's the seriousness of it, then I think that's a different story. But I think general usage for us, we're only targeting Web3 guys.
Yeah.
And a
lot of Web3 criminals.
Yeah. I mean, yes, most of them, they're not that like hard criminals. They're just a bit of fraud.
Here and there, a couple million.
Yeah, no, it's but yeah, this is what we were discussing, because obviously, to take down a whole blockchain, you would need a whole government state to go after it.
Yeah.
That's how powerful it is, right? Yeah. So
let's say if they only want to get in touch with one individual.
Honestly, I'll have to cross that bridge when I come to it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think I just look, man, every case is different.
I know.
I'm not going to stop them.
But you might, I know. But that's the decision you as a founder will have.
I think it depends on what he's done, right? I mean, if it was an Epstein situation, then I think you've got that one right.
Yeah, I know. But this is where it gets tricky, because we all talk about decentralization, DeFi and all this stuff, but then yet there's a backdoor access we never heard of, and there is one. They say you're encrypted and everything, but hey, government can spy on your WhatsApp.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So, where does that put us? Yeah, as trying to be the rescuers, the saviors to web.
I don't want to be the savior because there's too much effort
and responsibility.
No meet your heroes type of thing. But no, I think we're just giving people the choice of something different. We're not trying to take over a market. We're actually just trying to give them an option on, whether they want to own their own data and then use their own data to actually sell it for themselves, right? I think that's our biggest thing, because there's a lot of creators out there that are doing great work, and it just leads to nothing because they should be earning from it. And the whole point is, that's where NFTs came from. It came from the creators, but then it got just really wildly out of hand. But it goes to the same for us, the music producers, the videographers, the content creators. We still want people to earn money from that. And I think, look, there are companies that are looking into us for the data for digital IDs, but that's more on the iGaming side. They're looking at it from financial services, life insurance, iGaming, for example. People who gamble in casinos in Australia. If you put, and there's a lot of money laundering there, right? So
of course,
if you put anywhere from I think it's 9,999 into a bank and it's under 10,000, then they don't ask questions. So these are the things that
loopholes.
So yeah, but so there's some things you can work with and there's some things you can't. So we want to be on the side that we want to work with people and making things better, but we don't want to have complete control over
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And when
it's a gray situation, right?
Correct. And this is the narrative I'm trying to get to, because when CBDCs get fully integrated,
That you have no choice.
You
literally have no choice.
Zero.
It's the weirdest.
programmable money.
Yeah.
It's
a digital dollar. Which is
and that's when financial freedom ends.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So what then? I mean, when that happens and everyone's operating on the CBDC, you can't just use pound anymore. You've got to use the CBDC version of the pound.
Then again, I look at this and I'm like, well, crypto was never really decentralized as well. So if you look at
Bitcoin,
well, I mean, you just look at most of the crypto companies are built on AWS. So
yeah,
you know what I mean? So everyone's like, I'm a digital. No, you're not, man.
No, you're
not a digital nomad. You're an AWS server. How can you be? But if you just build it purely on the blockchain, then I guess there's a way to do it, right? You get all the inference. And this is stuff we're talking about with Zero G. We're having these ideas because we don't know everything. We're not quantum physicists or data. We're not that kind of people. What we did was come up with an idea, and then now we're getting the best people in the industry to go, well, here's where we can link in for the security. Here's where we can link in for the infrastructure. Here's how we can deal with your API regress. Because we've had 5 million of them. So we don't know how to do everything. It's just patching the bits that we don't know what to do. But we have the idea that we just want people to have a choice.
Now, you being the founder, and now let's also make this more personal. You're raising a family. You've got responsibilities.
So much.
Yes. When CBDCs do become a reality, what are you going to do with your savings?
Property, land.
Okay, put it in physical.
Yeah, 100%. We're looking at land in the UK. We're looking at property here. Usual stuff. I mean, look, I've been in crypto for a while. There's a lot of stuff in there. So I mean, look, CBDCs. It depends. Again, it depends on what type of person you are. Are you happy to share your data? You don't have any choice. But I'm used to it because I've lived there for 10 years. None of us are actually going to complain about this that much, really.
And even if you tried to complain,
what are you gonna do?
You can't really complain.
Why resist? Just feel okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we're looking to. Yes, we'll work with a lot of governments anyway because we're working on the sports coaching side, the mental health side, and these are big pushes for the UAE anyway, and Abu Dhabi and India and all these different places that we work with. So, but on the digital side for CBDCs, that's something I can't even comprehend because I don't know the rollout and the scale of what they do. And here is still very cash friendly, right? So how do you cut that?
You're also going to cut lots of businesses.
So many businesses
that rely on cash.
Yeah. Just in general, and it's the same with the UK. The UK, Europe still relies on cash, but I think they're slowly, really, and everyone's reluctant. But the digital IDs, I don't really see a problem because you already have a passport.
True.
So it's already got that digital bit at the back.
But what I do see, what's going to change from the passport system to the digital ID system is all your data, your whole map is going to be in one place. If that's not already the case, it's all going to be in one place. They can shut you down anytime.
That's the other thing, right?
Yeah, they just shut you down. One button.
Yeah.
Close your account, freeze your account, one place.
That's the issue, right? That's having not control. That's the bit I don't like. I don't mind people having my information or whatever, but it's the fact that you have no control.
What I'm saying is your passport is now programmable.
Yeah.
That means they can shut your programmable passport down. They can just make it expired.
Yeah.
They can't do that now. You have a physical, but they can do that when that comes out. Same with money. They can expire your money.
Yeah.
when it becomes programmable. You become a programmable user,
I know it's super annoying.
programmable human.
I don't know how much that will go here, but I can feel in other areas.
Yeah.
I think here they give you a lot of freedom as well because they love the idea of entrepreneurship. They want people to grow within this place. But I think in other areas of the world, I don't think they have the same kind of view. I won't mention the countries, but I feel like we all know which countries are going to do that rapidly.
We're sort of in this dilemma. I like to say that we're either in the best time to be alive with all this technology out, or the worst time to be alive with all this surveillance.
I think 10, 15 years, it might be a different story. So like I look at my kid, I'm like, what are you going to do in 15, 20 years?
Tell me about it.
What job are you going to do that's going to be not done by AI or robot in 20 years time?
And have you got a solution yet?
No, just keep him finger painting till he's 30.
God. Or, property has never gone like wrong.
Yeah.
Property is always appreciated, especially in Dubai. So what you said earlier, just coming back to that, put your money in property, put it into something tangible, physical.
Gold, silver, palladium, all these different. So we're working with someone with the block, and I've introduced a guy who has mines, and he's looking at gemstones, right? So as the resources of the world go limited, he's bought up a bunch of mines around the world. There's something called the Paris Accord. So all these mines are closing down. He's bought emeralds, tanzanite, and he's got art and all these physical things that he has in his hands. And he's like, I want to actually put these on the blockchain for liquidity reasons, investors. But he's like, I actually have all these assets, and that is the way to go. So now that I look at this more, and he's been educating me more on like not the property side, but the other side of the world, which are focused on rare stones. So like that's something else I'll get into as well. But there's loads of things like that, like silver. Everyone's been talking about silver.
Yeah, it just recently crossed a new all-time high.
Yeah, but they've been talking about it for years, right? But it's only now people are coming into the fact, well, silver is used in all these different parts of technology as well, right?
Trouble is how are you going to convert silver when you want to buy something,
Yeah, I know. Just go back to old school. Well, that's it. Old school bartering. So this is one of the things that we were looking at for RWAs, right? So you go back to old school bartering on a digital way. So if someone had even barley in a different country, you could switch out for a gemstone. So it's just looking at these very holistically and seeing how can we do this with a digital sort of way. Yeah. And you can't do it, and you can have all these smart markets and do it like that. But I mean, all these, I would say, look at this in a year, but it's all rapidly approaching now. Like if it's not me who's going to do it, it's going to be someone else.
Final question on ARC. So why I was alluding to all this narrative and everything, because it's happening right now.
Yeah.
With the advent of this technology of programmable money, programmable passports, programmable everything, programmable user, could governments, could your business model become, no longer needed? Because you're sort of in conflict with governments who don't want decentralization.
Possibly. It depends how far you're going to go with decentralization, right? So I think I look at decentralization very holistically, where, if you're looking at the ChatGPTs on the world and all that, ours is like, it's an autonomous reasoning computer. It makes sense of you as a person, while keeping your data and your privacy, for yourself.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If you choose to use a platform like any other platform like Google, then you're giving your information to them, but we don't take your information. So there's nothing we do with it apart from you keep it by yourself on the blockchain. And it's up to you how you use the platform. Is it for like trading analysis to rebalance your portfolio? Is it for learning about deep research on quantum physics? Is it to help you in your medical studies? Is it to help you as a person grow physically and mentally? These are the things that we're looking at. So for us, we're looking at it more as like, how do we help the individual better themselves? That's always been our goal.
The argument's absolutely positive. From the government's perspective, they can say, we don't want that. We want full data, full access, full everything. What then?
I think they can buy me out then.
Or they might have to try to relocate.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's why we're working with the government here anyway. We're like, our biggest thing was, let's not try and fight something because you just get shut down. Why not offer our services to the government and say, well, you can actually use our platform for your government services, right? You go to the schools and the hospitals and things like that and actually work with people on a separate platform, but it's the same platform. So that's what we're doing. We're rebranding it into different versions of itself,
right?
To work with different infrastructures And I think that's the best way to do it. You don't actually work against people, you actually work with them. So rather than be a threat and people questioning what you're doing out here, does this have a threat to our government? Will this destabilize something? You say, well, we'll build you a version of this where you can actually use it themselves and you can see how good it is. And that's been our holistic kind of approach to all of this. I would love to, I mean, look, obviously having your own data and, disruption is amazing, but there's limitations as well. You have to be smart, especially when you're doing business.
Well said. Now let's slow down to personal life. So you are a father recently.
He's 3.
Oh, 3, right?
Yeah.
You're a father of 3.
No, I've got one child, he's 3. But he's built like a 5-year-old.
Okay, nice.
I don't know what he's training for. He eats like 4 Weetabix in the morning.
This is very interesting because you recently became a dad.
Yes.
And you're running ARC and you're also running Kaiko.
Yes.
How are you managing your time?
Wow. Well, look, I think I've been very strict on how much time I give to each. And I think because I'm working with a lot of people in different sort of time zones, that my morning becomes my time. So like for 4 hours in the morning, I don't really, I'll tell my assistant not to book anything apart from my personal training and time with my son. And that's it. And that's my time with him. So on the days that he doesn't have nursery and the weekends, I'm very much like I'm away from my phone. I'm with him. Well, that's taken time to get to that stage. I don't think any of this hits you as a father right then and there. You're like programmed to be the best father in the world. Yeah. It's almost like trial by fire. It's like, what works? What does he need from me today? How is he growing as a person? What can I do better? Yeah. I'm constantly reevaluating myself and being like my own worst enemy, but my own sort of motivational coach. It's like, how do I be better? And then I got another one on the way. So it's like, oh, wow. Yeah. So it's like, now that I've got this one done, I'm like, I'll be awesome to this one. But then again, you don't know. As a parent, you don't know what life is going to throw at you. So it's almost like, how do I be a better version of a husband? How do I be a better friend, a businessman? It's constantly splitting yourself into different sort of boxes and evaluating all those different boxes every day, every hour, and saying what needs to be better.
This is a question I've wanted to ask for some time as we age with time.
Yeah.
As we age with time and we have more responsibilities, do you lose friends?
Do you know what? I've always kept a small circle of friends. So there's my business partners, but there's friends I've kept close. Yeah. And if I work with my friends, then there's always clear lines on how you work. I think a lot of people are motivated by different things in life, greed, we're in a relationship, money, and people have their different ethics and morals. But I think I have, over the years, I've never soured by someone else's reactions. So for that's me as a person. I know people are different, but I've always managed to keep my relationships kind of like that. And if I'm in the wrong, I'll take it on the chin. Yeah. And I'll always apologize. If I'm in the right, I don't need to gloat. It's more.
But do you get chances to meet them? Who? Your friends?
Yeah, I work with my friends every day.
Every day.
So my best mate is my business partner.
Oh,
so for the last 10 years, I've got to work with him. And then everyone I've kind of, if I can't sit down and have a meal or a drink with you, then it's very difficult for me to do business because we need to vibe together and build something that is going to really change something. Otherwise, I can't just be in it for the money. Money is good, but not all money is good.
Yeah, so that dynamic has affected me thinking about my future. Yeah, because I've just witnessed that the ability to just meet out for a pint or equivalent of that becomes harder. Yeah. Kids, you got work, you got deadlines, you're running your own.
It's chaos. It's beautiful chaos, like I like to call it. Right? You just have to embrace everything.
And then don't forget family. You've got your own family, like parents.
It's daunting.
Yeah.
Someone who's not in it, like to have the family yet, is daunting. They're looking at me like, how?
Yeah. And then you're a founder, and most founders are broke.
Yeah.
Not saying you are. Like you start broke at least.
Yeah.
And we all start broke.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. Is it's a 10-year overnight success. Like you start at really like the bottom of the bottom.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the ability to manage all these things, and still keep yourself at 100% like on it.
Yeah.
Is the work-life balance a myth, or is it?
No, I think I don't. Look, some days you have good days, some days you have bad days. Nothing is ever going to go to plan, ever in the history of making a plan has it ever gone to plan. That is just life. And I think the better you deal with that, the more you can live in the present. You can't live in the past, can't live in the future. So every moment you spend in the present is literally like, you can't be too hard on yourself because you're not doing that, the thing like that. You need to be very targeted with how you approach your day as well. Don't put too much on your list. Don't put yourself down about what you're doing. Just be a sniper. Like, go after the little things. So if you can spend an hour with your girlfriend or your wife or your child, spend that hour and don't worry about what's happening outside of that hour. It's just to live very presently. That's how I can do it. It's the best I can do.
Right.
Because we've all got 24 hours, and obviously 4 to 5 of those are sleeping. So in those other hours, we have to kind of pick and choose our battles.
Right. What sort of, if you could leave a legacy behind for your next generation of kids and onwards, what would that be? What would that look like?
In terms of
Whether
wealth, or in terms of
it could be wealth, it could be something you built, not necessarily related to wealth, but since we're on a podcast related to wealth, probably, what would that look like to you?
I think giving, I don't know. So
it's a hard question, I know.
Everyone's success is different, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you look at someone's success and your success and my success, is always going to be different. How you want to leave your legacy behind. And I think legacy is a very big thing because your life is always ever changing, right? So I can never say that my legacy is going to be one thing today, one thing. If you ask me what a legacy was when I was 23, it's a lot different now that I'm 38, right? So it's always changing. So I think the best I can do is that my child grows up happy and he has everything he needs to do to succeed. Like my wife's in a good position. Just generally, ultimately, you want your family to succeed. Right. And everything you do now is sort of a realization and sort of it's a book to how they live as well, right? So that's why I say every day you have to be a bit better than you were the day before.
Right.
So as much as I can make money's no good if I don't have my family around me. Right. So I think everything is balance in life. Right. Who were you when you had that money? Is it going to change you? Is it going to do this? So I think all of it needs self-realization and self-awareness.
Could one of those legacies include that you don't want your kids to have to work?
Is that I don't know if it would. I think understanding the value of money is one thing.
Yeah.
Not working is probably not. I think you have to work on something, whether it's a passion, a hobby, whatever it is. But in this life, I don't know what my kids are going to do.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, I look at him at 3-year-old and it's like super good at some things, but I'm like, what does that translate to in 20 years? So that's really daunting. So I think if I made enough money where he didn't have to and he could actually just build his own businesses or work in my business, that's legacy.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? So that would be one thing that I would leave behind, enough generational wealth so that he can actually go do what he needs to do. I can support him on the journey that he needs to.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest he can.
Because what I've recently looked up, and it came on my feed just by scrolling, was that loads of kids, their parents have paid for their education systems.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars have gone bust because now they're in this AI world that
they've cut
none of their degrees are actually
they've cut courses mid-course.
Right.
I think there was one university that cut like 130 different courses, and like people were still on the course, and
they're not going to give you your money back.
Do you know what? Which is kind of good in a way. Well, not good for them. Like terrible, was a horrendous situation. But for me, because he's 3, the world is going to change to a point where I'll be able to guide him at least.
Yeah. At least. I mean, I'm even considering homeschooling.
Yeah, I was looking at homeschooling as well.
Homeschooling, because I'm not going to pay loads of debt, but put my child and myself in debt. For what?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the universities benefit. They take your money, they win.
Yeah.
Right.
I think schooling is important until a certain age. I think the way I learned was I was not academic at all. I've always learned things just by doing.
Hands-on.
Hands-on. If my teachers looked at me now, they were like, wow, I did not expect that. I thought I was going to be in jail because I was very naughty. So it was a different story back then. But now I've turned into a businessman. So I can only hope the same for my son or my daughter, or whoever's going to turn up next. I don't know. But that's just reevaluation. In 10 years, 15 years, who knows what's going to happen? I can't even predict what's going to happen tomorrow.
Final remarks from your side, and that is, if you could change one thing, go back in time and change something about yourself, is there anything you would rewind the clocks to try and change, or would you not change anything at all?
I get this question a lot.
I bet you do,
because it's like the past, like all the mistakes you made lead you up to who you are as a person now. So I always think to myself, had I met not my wife, had I not had my kid, life would have been. So every mistake I've made, every success I've had has led me to this point of working with the people I have and the friends I have. You've been seeing right here in this chair. So I don't think I would do it differently. There's some things, many things I would do, but actually, do you know what? Every experience has made me into the person I am, and I kind of like who I am.
It's kind of like the butterfly effect, where you do one thing, it changes everything else.
And I don't really want to do that because I might end up with not my son or not my wife.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm very lucky and blessed in that way. So I'm like,
Being on this chair today is because of everything you've done.
you know, and like all of the weird shit that I've done as well. I'm like, how am I in this chair?
Right.
I know I've been on the news for that thing, or how have I built this business with my buddy, or how have I met my wife, or how have I got that friend? And like all the people that I love and know and that are in my circle, I'm just like, do you know what? I wouldn't change a damn thing.
It's crazy. If you go back into your family tree and you go up to all the way your great-grandfathers, if one of them died,
Yeah,
you wouldn't be here.
100%.
One of them.
Why change it? Why even like, if he had just like taken that step in the wrong direction,
In the wrong direction.
there's me, boom.
You're not here. You're not here today.
The Thanos effect just
I
disappeared.
know.
Right? So no, I actually, do you know what? It's weird. I wouldn't change a thing.
A thing.
I wouldn't change a thing because I have everything I need.
Okay.
And it's been super hard at times and it's been super amazing at times, but I've enjoyed the experience.
Well done. Well said. We'll end it there.
Yeah.
Khalil, thank you so much for your time. This is episode 89.
Nice.
So thank you for your time and really, really insightful about Arc Terminal. All the best with it.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, I look forward to seeing more success on this, and we'll keep a close eye on it. And I hope I can use it personally.
For sure. I'll send you the demo.
But any sort of dates you want to share that are going to be launched soon?
No, so the Arc Terminal is out now.
Okay.
We've had 85,000 people sign up.
Right.
It's around 9,000 daily using it. We have like 5 million API requests, which crashed our system.
Oh, damn.
So, which is good. It's a good place to have. So people are using it. We just want people to, there's more products going into it soon. We're giving away tokens to use it, as in like the tokens on the back-end system, not like crypto tokens. It's just more like data tokens.
Data.
So people can try it out. But yeah, it's in beta. Go try it out. Send me a message of it. Shit. Send me a message of it.
Brilliant. And for those watching, where can they find you if they're interested to get in touch with you?
It's on our Twitter, which is Arc Terminal.
Arc Terminal.
Yeah, got it. And you'll see it. It's a big orange sign.
All right then, Arc. Khalil, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
So thank you so much for watching. We'll leave all the links in the description. So if you want to check out Khalil's profile, check it out under the description section. Check out Arc Terminal as well and Kaiko Studios. Thank you again for watching. Hope you found this insightful, and I will see you next time. Cheers.